Guys, and welcome back to Mojo Homestead. Today we are talking about goats.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love our goats.
I had someone call me the other week and ask me a really good question that I had never thought about, being a goat owner, because we just sort of did it. Well, we had our information given to us, so sometimes like you got to step back and think like, okay, what did we take for granted, like that we were just information we were given that a lot of people may not have. And that is, what do you do when they're pregnant? Like, do you feed them anything? Do you have to give them anything extra? Obviously, you could have feed them something. But, like, is there anything extra you're supposed to be doing? And so we are going to address that today, because I thought it was an excellent
It's a very good question, and it's very important to know.
Yeah, because there are some things that you do need to do different when they are pregnant.
Yeah, and it could be life-threatening if you don't, so.
Ooh, that's a very, see, she's smart with the goats. I just do what she tells me to do. I did not know it would be life-threatening, but hey, there you go. It could be life-threatening. So this is very important information that could save your pregnant mamas.
Yeah.
If you are just joining us, just finding us on here, welcome. We are so glad you're here. So glad you're part of the family.
Yep.
If you're coming back, welcome also.
If you have any additional questions that we don't cover today, please leave a comment below. We love answering your questions. And if we don't know the answer, we will find it out for you, because that's what we enjoy doing.
So let's get started.
So, your pregnant goats definitely need grain. Grain is really important for you to have available for your pregnant goats. They need those extra calories and that extra protein that they can't just get from regular hay, especially if you're feeding your goat something like coastal hay. We feed them ours coastal hay. Coastal doesn't have a lot of protein, so they need that access to the protein that is in the grain. We get a mixed grain. We don't do a pellet. We know exactly what they're getting, and we know that they are getting lots of vitamins and minerals and things that are great for them and their bodies. So another important thing to know about grain is if you are, this is our lovely barn cat that doesn't hang out near the barn all the time, but anyway, if you are planning to milk your goat, if you have a dairy goat and you do not give them grain while they are pregnant, and then want to get them on the stand and milk them and give them grain or larger quantities of grain than what their bodies are used to. So if your goat goes from not having very much grain to all of a sudden having large quantities twice a day, they can develop bloat, and they can also essentially get something like food poisoning that can be very toxic to your goat and kill them. So you want to make sure that as your goat is progressing towards giving birth, that you are gradually increasing the amount of grain you're giving them so that their rumen is prepared to process all this grain that they're being given.
All right, so another thing that you really want to make sure your pregnant goats have access to, now this is something that goats always need access to 24/7, but even more so when they are pregnant. Hey, y'all smelling it? And that is minerals. We use this Mana Pro brand, but there's some other brands out there. Personally, we think this is probably one of the better ones. But the reason is because copper deficiency can become a problem in pregnant goats. Now, just like any animal, when they are in pregnancy, it puts a lot of strain on their body. And so it just means that you really need to make sure you're giving them access to anything that they possibly may need to medicate themselves with. Now, minerals are something that they can self-medicate themselves with. Another thing that you really want to make sure you have is baking soda. Again, that's all the time, but definitely when they are pregnant, that helps to prevent bloating, and you really don't want them to get bloated while they're pregnant.
So this is Frost. This is our mini Nubian, and she is so big. I can't wait to see her little babies. And then this one right here is Elsa. She's one of our original herd. She's from our original herd that we got from Goat Daddy. This is Emily Rose. I love Emily Rose because Emily Rose was my challenge goat. Anytime we would come in when we first got her, she would run away. She did not like people. She was not bottle raised. She was dam raised. And I'm assuming those first couple weeks of her life before Jason got her, the people were kind of hands off, because even with all the love that Jason gave her, she just was not interested in people. We got her because he really felt like she would do better in a small herd, and he couldn't chase her every day. So he brought her here, and she has done so much better. She's thrived. He was right. She really thrives in a small herd on a small homestead. And as you can see, she lets us pet her now. She will come to us. I've been able to hand milk her. She's just a great goat. Actually, Jason today told me that when she's done, if we ever want to retire her, she can go to the retirement pen. And I got a little bit of an ache in my heart at the thought of her potentially leaving our homestead. I don't know that I'd ever be able to let her go.
All right, I braved it and sat down in here. These goats will swarm to you when you sit down. So one of them that dodged out on those introductions earlier is Majesty. This is our bigger, older mini Nubian. So Frost, big fat pregnant one right here, is one of Majesty's babies from last year. Majesty was a first freshener last year, meaning that was her first time she was pregnant and gave birth. And she actually had 5 baby goats, which is unheard of. Now, one of those was stillborn. Really not that uncommon of a thing if you have that many in there. So another thing that you really want to make sure you give them and that they get is their CDT shot. Now, we always do it about the time that they're going to give birth just because it's a reminder to us every year. It is, hey, that's not food, that's a button. It is a yearly medication that they need to have. And you know, again, we do it when they're pregnant because it's an easy reminder, but also you want to make sure they're up to date on it, because when any animal is pregnant, it takes a toll on their body. And so you just really want to make sure they're up to date on all of their vaccinations so that they are as healthy as they can be.
So this is my girl, Esther. She was the one I bonded with first because she is just so incredibly sweet. She was one of the original 3 that we got. And so I love this girl. The other thing I wanted to mention, it's not necessarily food related. It's more for you and to make your life easier. But if you have a dairy goat and you are planning on milking them, the sooner you can get them on the stand and letting you kind of touch their udders and getting them locked into the stanchion, the better. Goats are animals of habit. They're creatures of habit. So they know their routine. If you make it part of their routine to get up on that stand and be locked in and get grain every day, it's going to make it a lot easier, especially if the goat is a first freshener and all this is kind of new for them. You want to make the transition as easy as possible for you and for them. Hey girl. Hey Emily Rose. See, this is the girl that wouldn't come to us. Look at her. Yeah.
If you have pregnant goats or are about to have pregnant goats, hopefully you found this information helpful.
Yeah. And again, if you have any questions about anything we didn't cover or any input, please leave a comment below.
Yeah. So highs and lows?
Highs and lows. So you want to go first?
Sure. My high is that it is almost Christmas.
Yes.
That's my high.
Yes.
Really excited. And here in South Carolina, it is not unusual for us to have Christmases where it's like our highs are 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So that's always kind of a bummer because I don't like that. But this year, it's almost too cold. But I'm excited about it. Our highs this year right now, they're saying it's going to be 36 degrees. Now, some of you who watch our channel who are in more of those northern states, you're probably laughing at me. That's freezing, okay? 32 is not freezing. 36 is freezing.
Yes.
When you're a South Carolinian. And the low, we're not even going to talk about the low. But I'm really excited about it for that one day because Christmas is going to feel like a stereotypical Christmas should feel. So yeah, that is my high. Just heading into Christmas and everything, and yeah, that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
My low is that we lost 2 animals on the homestead this week, and they were just both a day apart. Our baby rabbits. Our mama rabbit only had 2 babies this go around, which is really unusual for rabbits. And they were doing great. And yesterday we found one that was just dead in the cage, and there wasn't any signs of anything really. And the other one was acting normal, so it was like, okay, I guess everything's fine. Maybe that one just, something happened to it. Well then, this morning we woke up to that second one dead. And we think we may know what it was. We think it may have been a bacterial infection after talking to Megan Height, who is like the rabbit master.
Yes.
So right now we are just on kind of health watch with the mom. So far she's doing good, not showing any signs. We're going to be giving her some just kind of herbal medicine and stuff like that to try to kick her out of it if that was what it was, because it's a highly contagious one. I don't remember what she said. It was kind of had a weird name to it. But yeah. So,
if you're watching this, Megan, put it in the comments.
Yes. But yeah, just not fun at all. The kids had kind of gotten attached to those, to knowing what their final fate was going to be had they survived. But so it wasn't fun for them either. So yeah.
Yeah. So my high was that I got to go out today to GoDaddy's farm. If you follow us at all, you know that we are very close to Jason and Josh, and we really appreciate their mentorship and their friendship. So I was able to go out there and do a vendor event. The other great thing about being out there and hanging out with them was I got to see Poppin and Betty White, 2 baby does that were born on our homestead last year.
They are beautiful.
They're beautiful.
I'm kind of sad that he took them, but at the same time, I'm glad because we do get to kind of follow up and keep an eye on them and watch them and get to see them every now and then. So what about your low?
My low is that some homesteading friends of ours ended up losing a goat, and I got a phone call yesterday. I could hear the goat very distressed in the background. I advised them to get the goat to a vet. They were able to get to the vet very quickly, but they still could not save the goat. And that is just, when you milk an animal and you have, I don't know, there's something about goats. They are a true companion animal, and I love my goats. And so it just, my heart hurts for them that this happened. This was their first time having a goat give birth, and it's been kind of a rough week for them. So my heart goes out to them. It was just a sad situation.
Yeah, man, what a damper, like talking about all these deaths.
But,
you know,
it's the winter, it's cold, and like, I don't know.
It's just, I think it's just, I mean, well, one, it's the reality of like when you have animals. But I do wonder if just the crazy weather that we've had and colder than normal temperatures and kind of a quick drop has just kind of thrown animals sort of out of whack. You know, their body's out of whack. It does it for humans. So, but just sort of an unfortunate week, really, when it comes to that type stuff. But, you know, you kind of grieve, move on, and keep going.
Yeah, you have to. And if you're thinking about getting into homestead, just know that this is part of homesteading. Unfortunately, you will see a fair amount of death on your homestead. You will see a lot of life, and it is very life-giving. A little boy that was at the farm, he kept saying, "This is heaven. This place is heaven." Like, it really is life-giving to live this lifestyle.
We're going to get another video up later in the week. Yes. The planner went up live.
Yes.
So if you've missed all of that through the last week or two, be sure to check that out because, I mean, I might be a little biased, but personally, I think it is a great planner that every homesteader needs to have because it has everything in there from your daily just life kind of planning to livestock, gardening, What else is in there? Canning, I mean, all sorts
projects,
of stuff.
a place where you can lay out your project and budget for it. So if you're looking for it, it's on Amazon.
I'll just post the link down below in the description so that you can just head straight over to Amazon and get it.
Yeah.
So hope you guys have a great week. Have a great Christmas. Be blessed.